Well, 1 hour and 4 minutes later, we all felt that India were going to get to 400. Ashwin was looking really good. Jadeja was staring at a century, but alas, it was not meant to be. Tuskin Ahmed and Hasan Mahmud have ensured that India are all out for 376 on day two of the first test in Chennai. Ravichandran Ashwin, a brilliant century. Jadeja, unfortunately, missing out on his century against Bangladesh. But Hasan Mahmud, what a spell. 5 wickets for him. He becomes only the second Bangladesh pacer to take 5 wickets against India. Shahadat Hossain had taken it about 14 years ago against them. But in India, he is the first. And what a brilliant spell it was from Hasan Mahmud indeed. But India 376, Sid, do you think that India they'll be happy with the effort, or do you think they should have gone past 400?
Obviously, I think India would be satisfied after being 144 for 6 at one stage. Getting to 376 is obviously a good thing for India, because now they know that their bowlers will have something to bowl to as far as the Bangladesh batting goes. But then I think India would be a touch disappointed also, because they could only muster a total of 37 runs in today morning, because the Bangladesh bowlers, ever since they took on the new ball, they were right on the money from the word go, and India lost their remaining 4 wickets for just 37 runs. Well, as I said the earlier day also, that the match now still hangs in balance, because like India did manage to recover after that early stutter or the early collapse in the first two sessions, but then now Bangladesh have once again clawed their way back into the game after the third session clearly belonged to India on the opening day. So yes, it's going to be a great day of cricket, as far as the remaining 80, 85 overs go here, from now. But then, I feel I was going through the pitch report also, and the commentator specifically mentioned that the pitch is going to be good for batting at least for the first 3 days of the test. So if Bangladesh batters can like really hang around for the first 10 15 overs or so today, and can just manage to lose not more than maybe 1 or 2 wickets, I think it's clearly advantage to visitors.
Well, see, as far as the wicket is concerned on day two, there was a bit of skid with the new ball. There is a bit of extra bounce also with the new ball.
Yeah.
And Ashwin did mention that it is a typical Chennai wicket, but then it's a red soil wicket. Now, the problem with a red soil wicket, what happens? There is sudden deterioration.
Exactly.
So, when you look at it, black soil, there is slow and steady deterioration, but red soil is sudden, all of us. So, that is why a total of 376 is good. Let's make no mistake about it, but this is Bangladesh's toughest test that you can ever encounter, because you're up against Siraj, you're up against Bumrah, you're up against Akashdeep.
Yeah.
If the Pacers don't get you, then you've got two high quality spinners in Jadeja and Ashwin, who have had great success in Chepauk. I mean, I remember Jadeja, I think, took 7 for 48 against England in 2016 at this venue. Ashwin has got a phenomenal record with the ball in Chepauk. So, looking at it, Bangladesh's ultimate test, when Shadman Islam and all of them they come,
Zakir
Hassan, it is going to be Bumrah. How they survive this spell, because we have seen now with the new ball, there is plenty of purchase on this wicket. There is bounce, there is a lot of help that you can get, and plus Ravichandran Ashwin at this point in time, so many left-handers in the Bangladesh top order. He could also be tried out earlier with the zip and skid that he can get. But
absolutely,
Bangladesh, see, again, I can understand that they won't be mere pushovers at this point, because they had a good time in Pakistan. But the Pakistan bowling is different as compared to the pedigree that you're going to encounter at this point in time. So he will really be going after the Bangladeshi batters, and if Bangladesh survive Bumrah, then and only then I feel they have a chance in this test. Otherwise, if Bumrah rattles them 2 wickets and Siraj also builds the pressure with Ashwin and Jadeja waiting, it'll be an uphill task for Bangladesh at this point. So I think it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I think specifically from Bangladesh's point of view, what's really going to be threatening for India is Bangladesh's middle order. You look at, Mushfiqur Rahim, Shakib Al Hasan, Liton Das, and Mehdi Hasan Miraj. So that the 5, 6, 7, 8 is really going to pose a challenge for India. As far as Bangladesh's top 4 is concerned, you have Shadman Islam, Zakir Hassan, Mominul Haq, and obviously the captain Najmul Hussain Shanto. Well, they are obviously lack in experience, but then Shanto has clearly shown the kind of intent that was really required in the against a tough opposition like Pakistan, wherein Bangladesh really managed to win the 2-test series, and it was obviously their historic series win over their Asian counterparts. But then India is obviously going to be a difficult challenge. So if Bangladesh can somehow survive that early spell against Bumrah and company, I think India are probably going to have a tough time, because remember, Bangladesh do have another 1 or 1.5 days wherein the pitch might just be conducive for batters. And if they can let's say if they can manage to end today's day of play around, say, maybe around 200 for maybe 2 or 3 wickets, I think then it's clearly advantage them.
Well, if you look at the time, currently it is 10:45, if I'm not mistaken. They have a very tricky, you may say, 45 minutes to go for the lunch interval. So they have to survive that. Then they will have to recoup and get back into form in the post-lunch session also. So there is a very interesting burst that's going to be there for 45 minutes by the Indian Pacers, and they'll go all out for it. And if Bangladesh, like the score that you said, 200 for 2 or 200 for 3 by the end of the day, then yes, they would have achieved something very, very monumental, because even great teams in the past, they have not been able to cope up with the pace and spin combo that is there with India at this point in time. So it is going to be very, very interesting as to how Bangladesh cope up with this. But looking at the form Bumrah is, and let us be very honest about it, Bumrah doesn't need assistance from the wicket. He just creates his own space at this point. He can just rattle any opposition. Such is his skill at this point in time. So I would say that Siraj and if you look at it, Siraj and Bumrah, they hold the key. But will India go and open the bowling with Ashwin also? That is one thing I would like to ask, because 4 left-handers. See, if Shadman, I think Shadman is a left-hander.
Yeah.
Mominul is a left-hander. Shakib is a left-hander.
Najmul
Hussain Shanto is a left-hander.
Yeah.
So 4 left-handers in the top 4. I mean, that is going to be really, really interesting. Will Ashwin bowl? Firstly, will he open the bowling?
Yeah, I think it's possible. See, the other day in the post-days play also, we were discussing about the number of revs that a certain kind of a bowler like Ashwin can generate on such kind of a pitch. And that's where, India might just hold the advantage over the Bangladeshi spinners in, Shakib Al Hasan and Mehdi Hasan Miraj. So yes, it's a possibility. But then there's a reason you can, you basically, you have played 3 seamers for this particular track. So that's why I think India would go with Bumrah and Siraj, to open the bowling with Akashdeep, coming in as the first change. But for me, I think the key bowlers in this particular innings are going to be Bumrah and Akashdeep. I'm not really sure about Siraj's form. He hasn't really been that consistent in the last maybe 5 to 6 months or so. Even was good in patches in the series against England that India won 4-1 earlier this year. But in case of Akashdeep, he's coming, after a 9-wicket haul that he took in the opening round of the Duleep Trophy. And as far as Bumrah goes, well, obviously he was consistent throughout the T20 World Cup. So was the case in the England Test series. So yeah, he has that good performances under his belt. But then as far as spinners go, I think it's going to be a challenge. I don't really see much of the spinners bowling much of the overs in the first maybe 25 to 30 overs. But after that, if it starts to take the turn, or maybe the spinners could get some kind of assistance from the patches that have been created on the pitch. Well, who knows? They might just wreak havoc.
So yeah,
let's just take a few comments,
because the match is about to start. All the wickets of Bangladesh will fall within 100 runs. That's what PC Gaming is saying.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo has also entered the chat.
Wow.
Bumrah 5 for loading. Well, it's
well, let's see how that happens. Will India force the fall on King? No, not for this particular. See, if Bangladesh get out for about 60 or 70, then and only then I think they might try and enforce. But I don't think it will happen otherwise. Also,
yeah.
Everyone knows freaking awesome is saying. Everyone knows Bumrah is a big factor. But considering the bounce on this wicket, Akashdeep could be big. Like, yeah, freaking awesome echoes your thoughts that yes, Akashdeep could be a big factor because of the bounce. But even Siraj hit the deck. I think this kind of a wicket will suit him in a big way. So it is going to be very, very interesting. So we are all set for action to begin. Zakir Hasan and Shadman Islam are about to take guard, and I think Bumrah will open the bowling. It's a given. And yeah, that was one thing that's pointed out. Ashwin's not on the field. Sarfaraz is at this point. Yeah,
which I think he should be, on the field in the next few overs or so.
Yeah, next few overs at this point. So yes, Jasprit Bumrah is going to open the bowling from the south end. And what's your score prediction, Sid, by the end of this session? Will Bangladesh lose a wicket or no?
I think once again I'll make that bold prediction. I think Bangladesh would be 40 for 1.
40 for 1.
Yeah.
Okay. I am saying they will be 35 for 2.
Okay.
35 for 2 by lunch. So let's see. We'll join you back for the lunch session, folks. Bumrah's bowled the first ball. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live from me and Sid Gulati. It is bye-bye. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to download the Sports Talk mobile app as well. Bye-bye.